024, inhalants, huffing, whippets, hippie crack, rush, snappers, buzz bombs, amies, poppers, and locker room. What it is, inhalants are chemicals that are inhaled to produce a rush or high as the brain is deprived of oxygen molecules, and the inhaled chemicals stimulate or deprive specific neurochemical releases. Effects vary because the chemical inhaled can act as a depressant, stimulant, or even a dissociative. There are four main types of inhalants. Solvents, liquid, solid, or gas that vaporizes when exposed to air. Gases, chemicals in the form of vapors. Aerosols, sprays that are a blend of solvents and propellants. The propellant facilitates force, which is the actual motion of the solvent being expelled from the can instead of being inert. Nitrates. What nitrates do is described below. Huffers will have their favorites, but do not typically discriminate based on type. Involvement with a particular inhalant is usually based on accessibility, not chemical preference. The majority of huffers are between 12 to 14 years old because they do not have easy access yet to street narcotics. Older huffers outside this age group began when they were young and it became their DOC more by default. How it works, the mechanism of action. Inhalants MOA varies from product to product. Most inhalants suppress neurochemical releases, causing extraordinary alterations of normal brain-mind mechanisms. Most of us are familiar with being dizzy or uncoordinated from a merry-go-round or roller coaster or some other abrupt physiological change, but inhalants take that to a higher degree. They are nitrates which dilute blood vessels and relax muscles, especially in the brain, causing mental and physical atrophy. Depending on the chemicals, they will either slow down or entirely stop in neurochemical presence, disrupting motor control and various sense controls or activity altogether. What it does. Neurochemical deprivations from huffing have intense effects. The dizziness is so powerful it is felt as throbbing and pulsing sensations from head to toe, as though the entire world is throbbing and pulsing, humming and pounding. The huff rush disrupts the visual cortex, making everything seem to pulse in and out, and the audio cortex also throbs and pulses in nearly rhythmic beating, as if the whole world is pounding. It can become unmanageable to walk, talk, or see correctly. A virtual catatonic state can be experienced as huffers become physically immobilized, including speech. They're in a trance while these inhibiting gaseous molecules work their way through their brains, nerves, and cells. A common experience, like with nitrous oxide, is one of time distortion. Huffers feel that everything is moving in slow motion. Most people have inhaled the helium from a party balloon and had a laugh at the way it made their voices go super high. This is a huffing event that is not typically accompanied with a head rush feeling, but if you inhale enough party balloon helium, a rush can be experienced then too. The helium speeds things up like sound vibrations. Most inhalants slow things down, and if you think that high helium voice is funny, wait until you hear the slow down, slow motion version of the inhalant voice. It sounds as though your voice has been recorded and is being played back on a slow speed. The body and brain are so literally slowed down until muscle and brain controls are beyond your control.
Did your dog run away? Did you ever fight with your spouse or best friend? An unpleasant exchange with your mother or father?
Huffers like the rush. It's pretty intense and can feel quite fun initially. An inhalant rush only lasts 1 to 5 minutes as the brain rights itself with more oxygen intake, and the rather short experience of it is fun since it is easy to endure. If it went on for 10 to 20 or even 60 minutes, I do not think you'd find too many people enjoying it. There is little residual effect. Once it wears off, you feel mostly normal. As with any drug, the more you do it, the more residual hangover effect there is. One hit is easy to recover from within a few minutes, but 10 hits in an hour will surely put you in a slightly foggy state for a long while. Do this every day and that foggy state starts to become permanent and constant. Huffing literally kills brain cells and neurons. It is hard and sometimes impossible to regrow new brain cells and neurons. And the ones that are not killed are often damaged to the point they cannot function until enough time and effort is put into retraining them to do their tasks. If the set of neurons responsible for coordination of your thumb gets damaged, they may need to be retrained to know how to operate the thumb again. My brain injury issue has been used as an example many times in this text. I know from personal experience how sad and disappointing it is to literally retrain your body to do things you intellectually know how to do, but your brain's neurons cannot recall how to do them, as though they never knew it in the first place. Neurons that are damaged cannot remember how to do things they once knew. The knowledge of that task has been permanently deleted. Huffing is dangerous and is only a matter of quantity before permanent damage occurs. Some very smart people have become unable to think and reason as intelligent people due to huffing-induced neuronal damage. How it's done. Most inhalants are from a can like paint, spray paint, or computer dusters. In the case of paints, their fumes are inhaled straight from the can or sprayed into a bag that the fumes are then immediately inhaled from. The computer dusters, very popular inhalants, are ingested right from the can by being sprayed directly into the mouth and lungs. The fumes are deeply inhaled and retained for as long as possible. Usually, the intense mental distortions will cause someone to exhale and re-inhale. The onset of an inhalant effect is nearly instant. Nitrous oxide is a very popular inhalant that is often found at parties. Whippets are small OTC canisters found at local head shops, and tanks of the same thing you're given at the dentist when he or she needs to put you out. The tanks are often provided at parties by kids who have a family member in the dental field. They are surprisingly accessible. Nitrous is the preferred choice of inhalant, so be on the lookout. A tolerance is built quick, requiring more chemical to produce the same effect. Recovery. With teens and preteens, intervention is nearly always required. Removing access to these substances is essential. Do not leave spray cans, paint cans, nail polish, or any other solvent or gas unattended or unsecured. If you have someone who has been involved with huffing at all, it is best to not keep them around at all, even if secured, so as not to tempt or cue the using impulse. Out of sight, out of mind. You do not need an ID to buy inhalants, since anyone with some pocket change can buy nail polish. Most hardware and paint retailers have begun locking up their spray paints and require you to show ID and be 18 or over to buy them. If you have a project that needs a potential inhalant, it is best to make a trip to the store, buy it, and then dispose of the remainders.